Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Grand Campaign. Strategic Command World War One multiplayer. It's once more me versus Legit. As we're now going into the big battle. We also played the March to Paris the other way around, but we realized it's really not that interesting of a scenario for multiplayer, at least not for us. But we're really hyped for the Grand Campaign. And I'm once more gonna play the Central Powers, as he will take control over the Entente. And this is going to be interesting. And yeah, this has to. This game is one of my favorite grand strategy games of all time. All of the strategic command games are great. This might be my favorite actually. And the amount of decision making here is cool, but still not going as far off the historical path. Like there's a lot of what if scenarios that you can do in this, but it's not totally crazy and imbalanced as it is in Hearts of Iron, for example. It's more bound to reality, which is really nice. And yeah, the first thing we got to do here is to decide where to focus with Germany. We have a deployment phase here, similar to what you had in the small campaign. And yep, we are going to need to stray from the historical path in this here as well. Yes, yeah. Most of our army is mobilized. A lot of it stands in the west, but we are not going to decide to stay there. We could decide to strike hard in the west, but it's really tough to make work. And Russia is really vulnerable if we leave it as we have it. And also, Russia has room to maneuver if we put more focus there. So we gonna focus on Russia, and we're gonna put a bit of pressure on Serbia as well. Like those are the plans right now. Focusing a bit more on Serbia as well, as we gonna start with our deployment. And as you can see, we have a good amount of extra forces that we can deploy. 2 cavalry corps, 2 infantry corps, and an artillery. The artillery we might leave in the west. I'm not 100% decided about that yet. I know that we for sure want to get formation around here. They would expect to push from the north. Let's actually deploy in front of Lodz and help out the Austro-Hungarians from the get-go over here. Like, you could do a cut from over here, but we also could try to at least encircle over here, which is easier to do, and hold up in the north with the forces we have there. They should suffice to hold on. Like, a classic move is this one, but this is also the one to be expected. And if you have played this game when it launched, that's pretty much the last time I played it. Russia was pretty easy to topple there because they didn't have units in these places. Like, I think they didn't have a unit here and here, but they fixed that. Russia has a good bit more units now. Not just at the beginning, but they also mobilize a good bit more. So the Russian strategy, which was basically the way to win easily back in the day, it's not that easy anymore. But we're still gonna try it. And yeah, I have to consider where to put my general. I thought about doing it from the classic move. Could also push towards Riga, which would overstretch us even further though. Like, I want to solidify this first. And pushing from Warsaw over here, there's a fortress in the north, there's a fortress over here. There's no fortress in here. And you can encircle Lodz, so yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with our cavalry up here. And our infantry corps down here as well. And then our artillery, we're gonna leave in the west. So yeah, this is the deployment. We are at war with France, we are at war with Serbia, we are at war with the Russians, but we are not at war with the UK yet, and we're gonna keep it that way. We're not gonna invade the UK, Belgium, so we're not gonna trigger UK just yet. They will join the war later. We can't stop that, but we won't be the one triggering it. And we won't be the one invading Belgium because we don't want to overstretch ourselves in the west. In fact, we even want to get quite a couple of units away from there towards the east. And yeah, our immediate priorities. A successful advance into Serbia, seizing Belgrade and Niš, will get Bulgaria to join us. But we also must hold our eastern front for Russian advances may entice Romania to enter the war against us. Romania is also an important food source, so war with that country could also lead to hunger and low morale. So we must advance into Serbia whilst holding our east, and that won't be easy. Russia is strong. And yeah, violating the neutrality of Belgium, the Netherlands, or Denmark will automatically bring Britain into the war. And so does sending any submarines or so near the British coast or the North Sea. But yeah, we can delay their entrance. We need to keep Netherlands neutral, as that gives us food imports and extra money. So we have to keep them from going towards the Allies or towards the Axis. A play that the Entente can do is declare war on the Netherlands to stop us from having that. If they already declare war on Belgium, they might as well do it with the Netherlands, which gives us more units and so on though, so it's a careful thing. And yeah, that's one of the things where we have an eye on diplomatically. The one play I want to make, because we're already pushing east, and it makes the front line for the Russians even bigger, and it also adds a good amount of good-sized army to our military, is I want to get Sweden into the Central Powers. Because pushing in over here could add up some extra pressure. Plus, it gives us even more line of sight on the Baltics, gives us even more ships here. Decent amount of pre-dreadnoughts. I think three pre-dreadnoughts that we get with that. So, yeah, this is going to be good. Our recon plane can't see much from over there, so we're gonna move it up here. We want to scout Warsaw, but we also don't want to have this be too visible. Okay. And then we're gonna do the standard moves. Here we want to advance in front of Verdun. The cavalry is not going to stay here for long. We're gonna move this eastwards. Actually, we can do so from the get-go. Let's move in front of it and then move it back afterwards. Okay, we want to take this mine. Can we dig in here? No. Okay, that's a problem. These three up here are our units for the east. Getting them onto railroads so we can ship them east. And then this formation goes east as well. Realized we don't have any sound. Fix that. Okay. Frontline we want to create over here is basically this. Like, we want to be it as short as possible. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it's kind of the shortest. This would be 7 as well. Like, we could just hold this front line. What we for sure want to... We want to stay on this field next to Verdun, as this is a factory that we can eliminate for production. I don't think we can cut it down to 6. It's always at least 7. Just wanted to keep it from being any bigger than that. I guess this holding the German border plus this bit of France actually might be fine. We're gonna do attack here. you gonna dig in already? Yeah, that was good. Okay, we can destroy this core. That is good. Hits the French morale a bit. Gains us morale. And oh, we have this weird thing here. Yeah, this is not perfect. We don't want this unit to be that exposed. But we can't really change that right now. Like, we could advance a bit further, but we don't really want to. We need to keep a solid double line here. I think 7 corps, like the 2 cavalry corps and 5 infantry corps to the east, is a solid force to strike around here. Artillery we keep here, as I said before, because it's actually not that maneuverable at the beginning, and it doesn't de-entrench early on. So moving it to the east is a bit cumbersome for what it does, but over here it can help out, keeping the French at bay. So that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, this way we have a good double line. We might lose this core already, first turn. Yeah, holding this would be good. Stepping one deeper in would be even better, just so that we have room to give up in Germany. Like, we are a bit close to Strasbourg and to our own mine here in the Saar, which I don't like. Metz as a fortress is nice, but yeah, we're gonna keep it that way. Also, we need to be somewhat cautious about them declaring war against the Belgian. The recon bomber is better with artillery. A nice thing. And then let's have a look on what we get production-wise. We get an artillery piece in February with the Austro-Hungarians. That means we want the recon bomber. We want the artillery in Serbia for the Austro-Hungarians. It's better with the recon bomber, so we move the recon bomber here as well. Okay. That move is done. Let's do some naval moves here. Our submarines are not allowed to move deeper into the North Sea for now, so we might as well use them over here. Block the entrance. Our big navy can move over here as well. Our pre-dreadnoughts are not at full strength. It is a bit annoying. Okay. Our destroyer can lay mines. Gonna lay a mine here. Okay, let's move further north with our navy. We want to fight the Russians with the navy, if we can catch them. Okay. On land. Over here. The Russians might come early on. We will give up Tilsit. It's not costing us much national morale. And we will give up Gumbinnen as well. If the Russians want to push there, that's fine with us. Gonna entrench over here though. The unit out of Gaudens can move off as well. And this is an elite corps. We want to give up. Yeah, we want to give up Memo. Gonna move in over here. Kutno is not easy to take. Move this unit into Königsberg. Entrench to the south. Over with the Austro-Hungarians. We want to entrench in Lemberg. Budapest unit moves up. And we want to keep a cavalry reserve over here. And our Tarnopol formation. Entrench here. Cavalry next to it. Have to be careful of Stanislav. Then gotta have an eye on Lodz. Actually, we switch positions here. Okay. Solid ground cover there. You can move away again. We entrench you in front of Lodz. Could know. 2-2 is not great against the Russians. We want better odds than that. Over here, Belgrade is what we want to take, but it's not gonna be easy. We kind of want to outmaneuver the Serbians. We want to take this village. Okay, we can't. It's painful. Gotta be careful in Ragusa. Against the AI, I would march up here and entrench in front of Sydney, but I don't want to get outflanked. I have anything run into Ragusa. Austro-Hungarians. Egypt, UK. We are not at war with UK just yet. So our submarine has to be a bit careful. We want to get that up to full strength. We want to do submarine warfare. Currently, we can't do any research, we can't do any diplomacy because we don't have any points yet. But as you can see, Germany and Austria-Hungary already going for artillery. Going for industrial research as well, which is good too. Sure, not something we want to take out. We already have command control and infantry warfare 2 with Germans, which is really, really good. This is the main reason why we are better than the Russians. And also better than the French slightly, I think. French have level 1 there, I think. But, yeah, also means our Austrian allies are not as strong as other units. So, as our German units, like that's the reason there. Why this is the way it is. Okay, meanwhile, down here with the Ottomans. Ottomans not in the war yet. But we already could do some movement. Could switch out this core with this unit. We want to move this core east, I think. I think we want to focus with the Ottomans on winning here as well. Artillery pieces for that would be nice. But like research-wise, like my plan is to go east and push. Like I have a this is classic notepad. Infantry research is infantry, artillery, and fighters. Pretty classic German research at least. Yeah, infantry format. With the Austro-Hungarians, I want to go for tanks eventually. With the Germans, not really. With the Austro-Hungarians also, and with the Germans, also want to go for trench warfare pretty early on, because that gives us extra entrenchment, really helpful in the west. And with the Austro-Hungarians, I want to go for production technology, because they're gonna get a lot of units destroyed. And they also need a lot of units, so we're gonna go for this pretty early on, so we can buy our units cheaper. And yeah, with Turkey, we're just gonna try to stay up and keep up somewhat with technology. And that's diplomacy. As you can see, Sweden is already 20% German. So pushing this further to us should be relatively easy. So we're gonna go for that. Switzerland currently 0% Germany. That has a chance of getting an event where you get more closer to you. We will do that event. If it triggers and they get closer to us, we might decide to get them onto our side later in the war. So actually, Switzerland might not be that helpful. Because, yeah, we kind of live on having a short border with the Entente. And France would increase that, and Switzerland would increase that by a hell of a lot. Even if we hold on here, it's still 4 more. So it's actually not really worthwhile maybe to go for Switzerland. And if we have war with Italy, it would be even worse. And yeah, as you can see here, war with Italy, I'm still undecided. And yeah. War with Italy, I'm still not undecided. Because there's an event where you can give them Trento and Trieste. And they will be somewhat... yeah, they will not declare war on you then. But it pisses off all of your Austro-Hungarian people. You even get revolts that reduce your income, but especially you get a national morale hit, which is pretty bloody. So, though on the other side you don't have to fight the Italians, which is a big plus, but also potential maybe to get some victories here in Italy. Like, I will have to see how it goes. We will make that when it happens. We will decide about it, depending on how it goes in the east. If we can spare units to be deployed here, like we need 1 corps here, 1 corps here, 1 corps here, for the beginning of the war, we gonna let them declare war. If we realize we really absolutely can't spare that, because our war goes pretty badly over here or so, then we're not gonna... we're gonna give them their territory. So, yeah. This is turn number 1 of our war in the east. No, World War I, Strategic Command. I nearly forgot to move this one, the Reserve Corps. Flensburg is not under threat. Not gonna declare war on Danish. So, We might as well move this one over. This is to hold the line up here. That's why we also fast move them. Other units we don't want to fast move. We want to move them over in other ways. We're gonna leave these in Cuxhaven, because there's a potential of British invasions, and it's only a Marine Corps. So it's not like it's going to be super helpful elsewhere. Wilhelmshaven could use this later on as well. Like, if we push a bit further east, we're gonna move this unit out of Posen into Wilhelmshaven, so that they can't capture our port here easily. At the moment they can't, but the British will have Marines, and that will be dangerous. Marines also will be a danger for Gallipoli, Smyrna, our harbors down here. Actually, let's switch you with the guys in Smyrna. Like, usually these formations are enough. Over here at Gallipoli, we should keep these guys. But for Smyrna, I think detachment will be enough, whilst having a core for Gaza, and that's where we're gonna move with this, should be helpful. Yeah, this is turn number 1. From now on out, we're gonna start with Ottomans, and then move counterclockwise, Eastern Front, Western Front. Or Ottomans, Serbia, Eastern Front, Western Front. That's how we gonna handle things from now on out. So yeah, this is turn number 1. Let's send it to Legit, and let's see what he's doing. And let's see what kind of events we still have firing on the end of the turn. Luxembourg surrenders, yes. Get a couple of MPPs. Goeben, currently in the Mediterranean. Oh, sailing towards Constantinople. It is recommended that the Goeben continues on to Constantinople, where it will be taken into service with the Ottoman naming, renamed Yusuf Sultan Selim. If we decide not to send Goeben on to Constantinople, then we will instead sail to Pola and will serve in the Austro-Hungarian Navy. Notes. Saying yes to this will not only provide the Ottoman Navy with an urgently needed reinforcement, but it will also help mobilize opinion in the Ottoman Empire towards joining the war on our side. So yeah, we want the Ottomans in, so we're gonna send them the Goeben. Chancellor Konrad von Hotzendorf, General Böhm Ermoli, and the 4th and 7th Corps of our 2nd Army are currently en route to Novi Sad and Hemesburg, near the Serbian border. They will deploy shortly to take part in the invasion of Serbia. We could deploy them towards Russia. Unfortunately, sending them will delay them. And yeah, Austria-Hungary declares war on Serbia before their army had finished mobilizing, and Russia's support of their Serbian ally led to mobilization plan being changed. This caused extensive delays and confusion, with many of the soldiers sent to fight the Russians having to march long distances after disembarking from their trains. Additionally, sending these units of the 2nd Army to serve against Russia left Austro-Hungary's offensive against Serbia lacking in sufficient strength. So we could deploy them in Serbia, we could send them against Russia. We will deploy them in Serbia. Yes, I'd focus on the east, but Serbia is the other thing we want to focus on. Like, Serbia and Russia are the 2 things we want to focus on. If we eliminate Serbia, we have a direct connection from Berlin to Istanbul, or like all the way from Flensburg down to Jerusalem with trains that we can use. So getting rid of Serbia would be an absolute big victory. Plus it would mean that Bulgaria joins on our side, which is also not a super weak nation. So we're gonna deploy in Serbia. Plus, yes, they will push us over here maybe, but with the Germans on their side, I don't think the Russians will be too dangerous in the east. And as we're going for west to east slower movement and not a pincer movement, we don't need the units in Russia for a pincer movement to collapse onto the Russians together with the one from Königsberg. As we're coming from Saxony and not from Saxony, but from Katowice. Yeah, Austro-Hungarian units mobilize. We get a general here finally. Get a couple more units. And here we get our MPPs. They can send money to the Austro-Hungarian Empire from next turn, which will be helpful. But yeah, that's turn number 1. See you in turn number 2. Let me know all the leave all the questions you have about this, and down below I gladly will answer them in the next couple of episodes as well. And yeah, in general, just feel free to leave any questions you have, and also any tips you have for the series down below. See you next time.